Dumubewe o Maria, dumubewe liabia, dumubewe liabia, dumubewe o Maria. Gismo, Gismo the video man. Dumubewe o Maria, dumubewe liabia, dumubewe liabia, dumubewe o Maria. Gismo, Gismo the video man.
Welcome to my channel. So my name is Gismo, and if you've been here before, you probably know what this video is about. If you haven't, I'm gonna go through the movies I picked up for since I did a video like this last time. I think it's almost 4 months ago now. So like a year ago or something, I bought probably the amount of movies I have here now. I probably bought this amount for 2 months time. But the buying is going down a little bit because of the price, but also because of I don't buy much of the new stuff anymore, and so I try to buy stuff I really want. I have some different genres, if you like, that I buy everything from. So I have the Italian collection from 88 films that I've been buying everything from up till today. And Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish, Danish and Icelandic films, I buy everything of that. But I'm actually starting to get away from that as well, because it's a hard time finding any new films that I really like. I've been honest about this through the time on my channel, so I'm not like shitting on shit just to shit on it. It's a hard time now to find actually new stuff that I like. It's really weird. It's only becoming worse and worse every year that's gone by, and most of the Hollywood movies also doesn't really rock me anymore. So yeah, but I have bought some new stuff in the stacks here, and but as you will see, I buy most of the new stuff cheap, so it's sales stuff. But let's start with a Norwegian film. I will start with a standalone kind of Blu-rays I bought, the cheap ones if you like. So the first one is Victoria Modeux, Victoria Must Die. So actually this is in plastic, but I actually watched this when I got it and there was something wrong on the disc, so I wrote Platekompaniet and they sent me a new copy, and but I have watched this. It's a very childish film, made of course for children, but I think it went a little bit into the lecture stuff. You feel like someone is talking to you like you're stupid or something, and I hated that when I was a kid, and I still hate that shit. The movie has also this kind of wannabe touch of I don't know, stylistic Tarantino vibe to it, or I don't know. It was, and also a little bit Wes Anderson, but it managed to kind of cope a little bit better with the Tarantino stuff than it does with the Wes Anderson, because there is some shots here that doesn't fit, when the camera is changing angles, and it felt a little bit, how can I say this gently, like a little bit amateurish with a higher budget. So and that's kind of the worst thing for me. But I know I wouldn't have liked this as a kid, and I didn't like it that much today either. It was not a terrible watch, but it was, and I hope they can stop putting TV celebrities in movies. I don't know, we have enough actors in Norway, so you can stop doing that. So this was a movie I got just the other day. I've been wanting this for a long time, but I didn't pick up any expensive releases of this because I haven't seen it yet. Only heard good things about it, seen some clips, and it looks kind of up my alley, if you like. The director has a good track record. I wasn't the biggest fan of Lilo and Stitch, but I still watched it back in the days. I was actually in Disneyland, my third time I believe it was, when it was released. So I got a really big, cool, like the first weekend when it was on cinema. So I have a good experience from it, but it was a little bit too silly. Felt more like just a cartoon that like an animation that came out in between the classics. So I never actually looked at it as a classic, because I also saw his film, what's it called, Call of the Wild. I saw it just 2 years ago, I think. It was decent. The CGI effects really destroyed a lot of the film, because the story I really liked in that one. I wonder if it was Harrison Ford who played in it, or who the fuck? No, I think it was William Dafoe, was it, I believe. But I only heard good things about Wild Robots, so I'm looking forward to check it out. Okay, so next one up was Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. So I read the books of Lord of the Rings actually the year after I saw the first film, The Fellowship of the Rings. I was in the military, so I read Fellowship of the Rings and Two Towers when I still was in the recruits. Or I think it took 3 months to read them, if I'm not mistaken. I'm a big Lord of the Ring fans. I've seen the movies almost every Christmas since they were released. I'm not super fan of The Hobbit, but, well, this movie was fucking terrible. And I actually went and read some reviews after I saw it because I didn't understand it. I looked it up on, I think it was IMDb, just to check some actors. And I saw it got a pretty good rating there, and I couldn't understand it because I feel like I'm a big anime fan, and I feel like the animation in this one is kind of a little bit like anime, but it doesn't fit the fucking universe, because in anime it's not really super important to have really different type of characters that you really recognize right away. But in Lord of the Rings, it's so important because the humans look so similar, and then you have like different breeds and stuff like that. And also with the woke nonsense that we have today, why the fuck did they make a movie with a female lead in The Lord of the Rings? It makes zero sense to me. I haven't read all the books from Tolkien, but I can't even think that he has written about a bigger role for a female, except maybe elf ladies or something like that. But I don't know. It just felt totally out of place, and I would think that Lord of the Rings would fit on animation because it's such a cool concept and everything. So, and I also think it must be easy to make a good animation out of the Lord of the Rings universe, because you can even remake in animation style the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And even if you take, like, put a female lead, the whole universe is based on Europe, medieval Europe. And a female warrior back then would have been killed within an hour, no matter how strong she was. Because, and it kind of breaks the entire lore of the universe, in my take. I don't know. Something you should never change. It's really weird. I can't understand it. You can do a lot of shit out there, and I wouldn't care. But when you go in and fuck up this universe as heavy as you did, and I would say that the series, I don't know if I put them on the same racket of shit, but they are both terrible. Yeah. So this one I haven't seen yet. It's Silent Night. I only heard bad things about it, but I'm a big John Woo fan. Yeah, John Woo really went bad after he went to Hollywood, but he still have multiple action films that are up there on my at least top 50 place. At least 2 of them are up on my top 20, maybe even top 10. I just think when he went to Hollywood, something happened. He did make Hard Target that I liked a bit, and Face Off is a fun movie, not a good movie, but a fun movie. Mission Impossible 2, I know everybody hates it, but I actually like it the best of the Mission Impossible movies because I'm not a big fan of Mission Impossible. But in the second, I feel like they give a rat's ass. It's just stupid action and all of that shit. And John Woo is a legend when it comes to action scenes. And another thing is that I'm not the biggest fan of Joel Kinnaman. Also, I saw him in, I knew about him before he went to America and became big over there, because he was in the Snabba Cash films in Sweden. And yeah, and I thought it was decent in RoboCop, the remake. I think it was in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well, if I'm not mistaken. Could be mistaken him for that, but yeah, I really wish John Woo could go back to Asia and just do more. Better Tomorrow, Bullet to the Head, Hard Boiled, Once a Thief, The Killer, and all of those classics. I think he can't make movies in Hollywood. That's the problem. It's so strange because he went from like A-class movies to B movies, And the B movies has like 4 times the budget of his A movies. I also picked up Terrifier 3 because it was cheap on a sale. So I'm not the biggest fan, as people know, about the Terrifier movies. I'm a big fan that they are made and that they are doing so well. Super fan of that. But it's not my type of thing. They're kind of slashers in a way, and I'm not really super fan of slashers. There are, of course, some slashers I love, but they are too, according to the book, I feel, when they are good. And that's the strange thing, because when they go supernatural, that's when they lose me completely. They kind of break their own lore. So, yeah. I do think Terrifier 2 is a decent watch. I think I gave it 5 out of 10 or something like that. First one is weak. And let's be honest, the only reason Terrifier is a thing is because of art. They created a horror icon that works in America and some other countries. So I will not talk about this film that much because I have this for the upcoming Rotten stream. But I will say this much. It has pretty decent CGI in it. It looks better than it should do, actually. Some jokes lands, and yeah. But I will talk more about it on the next Rotten stream. Next one up is The Substance. I was one of the guys who really pushed Coralie Farget's Revenge when it was released. It was kind of in the mid of Me Too movement. Females were out there saying that, oh, females don't get the opportunity to make big films and blah, 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 blah. And here we had a female who made the biggest budget rape revenge movie ever made. And I think Revenge is a cool film. I also think that The Substance is a cool film. But here is my problem with her. She takes already made stories, almost down to the details of films that is already made. And she doesn't even acknowledge that in interviews. I tried to look up this interview with her about The Substance, probably 100 different interviews. She hasn't mentioned the fucking movie she stole everything from. I think it's called something like Rejuvenator or something like that. It's from 88 or 89, around there. I had it back on VHS, and it popped up in my mind like a month or 2 after I saw The Substance on cinema, that I have seen this movie before. And I started looking for that VHS cover that I remembered, and I couldn't find it. But when I was searching for it, suddenly it popped up in a chat, maybe it was Reddit or anywhere, I can't remember where, that somebody mentioned the name, and I looked up the name, and then I saw the cover, and fuck, there it is. So I went back and rewatched that film just to check if I'm right, and I was totally right. It's a remake of that film, 100%. And what I did like with The Substance is everything that is about the 2 females. Or 1 female, sorry, spoiler. No, but I liked everything with that, but I hated all of the stuff with the dudes. Because it's kind of a cheap way to go with such an interesting premise. We have seen it in 100 films before. I don't really understand why people are saying it's empowerment or anything like that. How many movies have you seen white dudes in 40s, 50s being the villains, trying to misuse females or whatever? It's so overdone. I would actually have loved this film if it was about Demi Moore being a completely psycho in the film, just a narcissistic bitch, and she didn't have anyone to blame for her action or anything like that. That would have been a cool, almost original kind of idea. But nobody dares to do that, and the only ones that can do that is the females. They only want to do the same narrative over and over and over again. The white 50, 60 years old men are the villains, and we are just some animals in a zoo being, I don't remember the word for it, but being exposed or whatever. And I'm tired of it. And you had the chance with this film. It could have been an amazing art piece. What I don't understand at all is how the fuck could this movie even be part of the Oscars? It's insane for me. But if that's the best we can do in 2024, now 2025 though, well, But I'm happy to own it, because I didn't hate the film. It sounds like that, yo, but I'm just saying, I'm being honest. Something bugs me, or sometimes stuff bugs me, and this is one of those occasions. So The Night Sitter was a movie I blind buy. I don't really remember why I did it, but I think it was because it was, I thought at least it was about home invasion. I think that must be the reason, because that's one of my favorite subgenres. What it is more, it is kind of a home invasion film, but it's more of a retro. They are trying like this retro jolly kind of stuff, like Bava Argento with the lights and colorful lights and everything. But my problem with this is it feels too digital, and it's just because it's filmed digital and it is cheap, and they didn't have the right push for the colors, or they pushed it too much inside some rooms sometimes. So they didn't find the right balance. It would have been fun actually to put picture on picture with, let's say, Tenebrae or Deep Red or something like that, or Suspiria up against The Night Sitter to check the balance. But I just feel it looks a little bit cheap. That's my problem. But the main problem with this is the acting, because the whole movie is focused on characters that has to be on board through the entire story, because that's the only thing we are focusing on, right? And the acting is horrendous bad. The lead actress is sometimes doing, I would say, hitting the right notes, but sometimes. I can't recommend this for whatever. Longlegs. So this was a new movie I thought was pretty good. It wasn't great, but I did like the, the tension in the film, and I wouldn't say the story was that interesting, but I do think this movie fully kind of lives on its atmosphere and everything. So, and I will give that credit to the director. I think it's Uskud Perkins, if I'm not mistaken. But I think most of his film, he struggles with the story. He did the same with Gretel and Hansel, movie that looked really good, had good tension and everything, good acting also, but the story didn't move forward. So I was just sitting there watching a lot of beautiful stuff though. But and I can only remember I had the same feeling with The Daughter of Evil. And it was something with Pretty Things Living in the House of Shit. I don't remember the title, but I didn't like any of those. And the new film he did, The Monkey, I think it's called. Oh god damn, that movie was bad. I wanted to turn it off, but I had to sit through it. It was really, really bad. But with Longlegs, I think he hits his mark. There is one scene in this film that actually is one of the best jump scares I've seen in a long time. And it's not a real jump scare, actually. It's more like the scene works so well, so it felt like a jump scare. Immaculate. So I also said I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I still like the film. It's just that I think it was a little bit too slow. Went into the same trope as we have seen from Italian films from the 70s 100 times before. And Sydney Sweeney is saving the movie a lot. I know she get a lot of love these days. I've seen it through reviews and stuff, but I just think she has a kind of shine to her. She fits to be a star, and not many. I don't think we have many left of that, especially on the female side. So I'm super happy that she is shining. And I'm also super happy that she is actually going into films in the right way. She's not complaining or saying all kind of crap just to get in focus. She is more or less just selling herself with her looks and with her acting abilities. And I respect her. I like her. But I don't know if I recommend it. It has some beautiful moments in it. I will give it that much. And The First Omen, if you take away the opening part, or actually that's kind of wrong to say. I can't spoil it. I will say it like this. If the opening was different and the ending was erased, this movie would have actually been a pretty decent to good film. But I put it on minus okay because the opening really hurts my soul and the ending is so fucking lame. So I can't recommend this either. But I love The Omen. The first Omen film is one of the best horror films ever made. So I watched every Omen film and I will watch them again and again, except the remake. But I need actually to rewatch the remakes. It's been so long. In A Violent Nature, so this was a pretty good horror, I think. It tried something new at least. Or maybe not something new, but it still tried something. I've seen actually a YouTube video film somebody made on YouTube that does exactly the same. Maybe it's the same director, I need to look it up. But he did exactly the same thing like 5, 6, 7 years ago or something like that. And he did it with Freddy, no, not Freddy, but Jason. So it could be the same director, I need to check it out. There is a kill in this one, and I'm not the person who often talk about violence and shit like that in films because it's too much of it nowadays, in my opinion. But there is one kill in this film that everybody will remember if you have seen it, and it actually made me laugh because it went so overboard. But the reason I like the film is because I know I use the word a lot, but it's so important to me in films. It's the mood, and it's the mood when we are following the let's call him Jason, because it feels like a Friday the 13th film, right? But yeah, I liked it because it's something different. So I will rewatch this pretty soon, probably this week. Here's a movie I actually got around to see. I haven't seen it before, so this was my first time because of Winn-Dixie. I thought it was a little bit fun ride. Fun ride to be one of those dog shit films, you know. There's 100,000 of them, I feel like. But I kind of like the dog films. And this is absolutely middle part of the list or rating, or if you like. But you can say that 90% of the dog films are pure trash. So this is kind of the 8% that goes into the middle. And then you have the 2% that are amazing, that I'm always looking for. But I will keep this. This is absolutely a movie I can go back and watch. And I actually showed half of this film to my kid, and she liked it as well. Or she fell asleep, but she can't hang on for more than 30 minutes, I would say. But I think I've seen that little girl in this film, the lead girl in this film, in some other children, or like where she is a child in something else. But I can't come up with what it is, and I didn't look it up, so I should have done that. Jeff Daniels is also in this, but I feel like he's in half of the films I've never heard about before that is made after 2010. So Strange Darling. So this was a surprise to me. I actually liked this film. I didn't think it was great that everybody's saying, but it's a really good film. It's it feels like one of those good 90s thrillers. The movies I really miss from America. I think this is Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Yeah, it feels like those 90s thrillers that we got tons of during the 90s that they stopped making. Like most of films they have stopped making. But Gallner is good. Actually, it was Anthony Horror Moore that first started talking about him, and now I've seen him in at least 4 films that I really love him in. So I think he is one of the few newer star, if you like. He's not actually that new. I found out I've seen him in older films, actually, from early 2000, I believe. But yeah, I didn't know about him before 2020, maybe, or something like that. I can't remember. But I think he's good in everything I see him in. So I think this is a good movie. I do think there are 2 scenes in the film that fucks up a lot, but hey, I'm just happy we get something that is watchable. Okay, let's talk about something that is really watchable. This movie blew me away. So this is a new film that really surprised me. It's on just the way it's made. It's a one-guy show that did everything you see in this film. It's incredible. Stop motion. And I wouldn't say it's only stop motion that is perfection in this, but it's also the way he has just implemented camera movement and all kind of insane stuff. Yeah, it's an I can't recommend this film more. It's so insane good. It's a Japanese stop motion film, and when you think of all the shitty directors out there, like 99.999% of them who gets opportunity to make films nowadays. This dude made this film, I think it was in 2017 or something, and he still haven't gotten the chance to make another film. It's fucking insane. This movie is a masterpiece, and yeah, throw money at this, man. Throw money at it. Fearless. So I haven't seen this movie since I was probably 12 or something. I don't know. It's back in the 90s from the VHS days. I always remember the film because of the cover. And because of one other thing, if I remember the right film, I think there is like a plane crash in this. And I don't remember if he was the only one who survived or if there were more. But after he survived, I I don't know, remember if he felt like Jesus or if he felt like he was, I can't remember, but something like that. That's the thing I remember from the film. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Normally I am wrong, but I remember I liked this. So it was just released here in Norway from, yeah. So here's the movie everybody loved from last year, Joker 2. I did not like it, but I didn't hate it either. And I think the reason why is because at least it tried something different. I would actually love if it went. This is one of those films I actually would like. There is a scene in this one. Sorry if I spoil something for people now, but I need to tell this. There's a scene in this film. I felt like they had every opportunity to make this shit film great. There's a scene when he's in the courtroom and the wall blows up. If Batman came through the wall there, it would have been an amazing film. Because then you would have switched the film from being something people thought it was just going to be a sour milk taste through the entire fucking running time to suddenly become a thriller or something like that. Plus, you will give something to people. And it would have been cool to actually see how is Batman in this universe. But of course they didn't. But I will keep this film, and I bought it through a sale. But yeah, here was a big surprise for me. Slaughterhouse 5. So I've heard about the title for years, but I always thought it was a cheap-ass horror film or something. And I also thought it was like late 80s, early 90s. I had no idea what it was at all. But I started reading about it some months ago. And when I read about it, an announcement came that it was going to have this cheap-ass released in Europe. So right away I pre-ordered it. And this was a really cheap buy also. So I didn't think the movie was great, but I think it's one of the most important films you should ever see if you want to learn something about evolution in filmmaking. There is a lot of films through time that goes into different styles of making movies, different ways of telling stories. I will come back to that later on with a French New Wave film I have here. But what I really loved about this film is that it gives a rat's ass if you as an audience are following the story. You just have to be on board with this. And it's kind of interesting also because you never know really why you are seeing what you are seeing. I didn't even know that when the movie was over, except that I could understand it was something about what you call mental PST, no, what's called PS, yeah, after you've been in war, you experience trauma. I could understand that it was saying something about that. And I also think the movie is talking a little bit about how bad war is an easy way to say it, but how much war impact everybody, absolutely everybody. The most interesting thing with the film, that is also the thing that actually makes it not that great in my opinion, but story-wise it's insane interesting. It's the ending. I will not spoil it, but I will just say to people who have seen the film, if I say this much, a Sue, people probably understand what I'm talking about. And I found that statement, or how you say it, really interesting. So next one up was a movie I grabbed right away when I saw it, so they had it, and it's just because of one of these films, and it's Yes Man. I want every real comedy from Jim Carrey on Blu-ray. I had Yes Man on DVD, but I want them on Blu-ray. These are movies I've gone back to and seen 100 times. There is only one I'm missing right now. I can't remember what it's called, but it's never been released on Blu-ray. I think it came out in 2011 or something like that. But anyway, Hall Pass I remember was decent. I can't really say anything about it because, yeah, I can't remember it that much. I think it was something about they getting a pass for sleeping with or maybe flirting with girls or something like that for a weekend or week or something. Yeah, I can't remember. But I will probably watch it again. I think I have that on DVD as well. Next one up is probably the movie or the release I bought the most times in my life. And the reason for that is because every time I give it away, I need to buy myself another copy. And I actually forgot last time I gave it away that I didn't have another copy of it. But it's my favorite Norwegian film, so gotta have that. Next one up is a 4K standalone release that was on sale of Tommy Boy. Yeah, I have this on Blu-ray as well, but I will not sell my Blu-ray because I'm a big fan of this film, and it's a really fun movie, I think. And it's the best of the two films, Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. I put them next to each other. But Black Sheep has the two best or funniest scene in it, I think. But Tommy Boy has the best story, in my opinion. The only bad thing, or not bad, but the only sad thing with the film is that Brian Denny is not in the film that much. He is in the film pretty much in the beginning, but yeah, something happens to him, so... But I love him. He's always great in everything he does. But I just wish Chris Farley had more years on him before he sadly passed away. He was a great comedian. Next one up is Zodiac. So I always said this is a good thriller, far from Fincher's best. I think he has focused a little bit too much on style instead of substance. So I feel like the movie is dragging a bit, but there is some really cool moments in the film, and it always have the tension that I love with Fincher films. My biggest buggle with the movie, and I always said this, I've never been a big fan of Mark Ruffalo. I have to say that I did like Ruffalo in Poor Things. I think it's the first time I liked him in a film. But yeah, I wish someone else was cast in his role in this instead. Next one up is Tombstone. So I actually ordered this, I think, on Steelbook, but it never arrived, so I just ordered this one instead. So I will watch this movie around November, I believe, because we have talked together as some friends and we will watch it together. It's one of my favorite westerns of all time. It's a great, great movie. I think I will see it before, actually, at one time myself. I think it's Val Kilmer's best role. It's super cool gunfights in this film, badass characters, everyone is really cool in it, beautiful shot, acted, the design of the movie. It's kind of classic Western design, but still they managed to keep it kind of new way with the, I don't know what it is with the film. It's really sexy. Yeah, everything is great in this film. What I didn't understand was when I looked up the director from this one, it's really weird. Because normally when you see great westerns or great dramas like this, you think that it is more like celebrated directors like Spielberg or, I don't know, Scorsese or whoever it is, or maybe European art house directors or whatever. But when I looked up the director who did this one, I didn't understand shit. Because he has done more, what can I call them for, like Octane 80s kind of action stuff. And he has hit and miss. I would say is more hit, actually, for me at least. But more slapstick action, to be honest. First Blood 2 of Unknown Origin, I think it's called. It's a really cool rat film with Robocop. And the gayest Stallone film, Cobra. And I'm saying gay just because of the style of the film. But I love Cobra, it's a good one. But I also did the mediocre kind of Abyss remake, what's it called again? The Leviathan, yeah. So how he managed to do Tombstone is beyond me. But I love it. I love it. And this could only be done back in the glory days when VHS was a thing and everything. So it was actually up to the director to deliver to the audience, not to some fucking people sitting in Cannes smoking pipe. So I'm going to go through the Norwegian film classics now that I picked up. And this time around was half and half, really good and some okay. So this one is called, what the fuck was the name? Was it Neighbors? I can't remember if it was Neighbors. Nobwhere, at least, is the Norwegian title. I really like this one. I'm not the biggest fan of the twist of the story, because the first time I saw it, the twist took me, actually, and that's a good thing, right? But when I thought about the twist, it actually destroys a little bit about the substance of what you're watching through the film. But everything leading up to the twist I love. It's kind of also one of the few that is founded by the Norwegian Film Commission or Film Found, that is actually a little bit sexploitation no sexploitation they made some of in the 70s, but more of kind of the thriller sex stuff from the 90s that I love. This one I recommend to everybody to check out. It's a cool Norwegian film that doesn't get enough love. I like it a lot. Ti kniver I hjertet. Marius Holst directed this film, and it's a 90s film as well. I haven't seen it since probably last time 2004, 2005 or something. Reason I say that is I think I never saw it after I moved to Oslo. So, but you have in this one, you have great storytelling. I think this is his second best film. Wonder why he hasn't made more. He did. I think he made before this. He made a movie called Dragonfly with Kim Bodnia and Mickey Persbrandt. Maria Bonnevie was in that one as well. Beautiful Maria Bonnevie. Yeah, but he did another movie I liked actually also is King of Devil Island. A pretty decent movie. It's not great, but I didn't care much for the Congo murders. It had a good first 45 minutes, I think, but I think the last half of the movie was more just dragging out. But he is probably on my top 20 of best Norwegian directors ever in my book, I think, because of 3 films he have done. But I remember I liked it, so I will be looking forward to check it out again. So this is Sved Neger or Scorched Negro, and they have a new title on it now because of the wokeness that is going on in society. And this pissed me off because I wasn't supposed to buy it, but I need the film on Blu-ray. I have it on DVD, but this is a movie I'm a big fan of. It's from my area, and it's but the whole thing with the original title, because the movie is a satire. It's 100% satire, the whole fucking movie. And the title is almost like a metaphoric satire for what you are going to see in the film. Or it is. That's what it is. And it's a smart title. I think many people don't give it, grant it for how smart the title really is, the original title. America is a bad fucking title. Because it's just something one of the side characters says in the film. And it's like the journey to America. And they talk a little bit about it in the film, but it makes zero sense to call the movie America. And I hate it, because it's almost like if you're a producer of this film, it's almost like you're saying that, yes, I was a racist when the movie came out, but I'm no longer a racist, so now we're going to change the title. I know he is switching it over and say that, well, the time we're living in now is different, but fuck it. Never touch art. You should never change anything that has been made. And yes, I'm looking at you, George Lucas. No, but I hate that they changed the title. I know it's just a small thing for many people, but for me, it's a really fucking big thing. Landstrykere. So I had never heard of this film. It's also from 88 or 89. And I think it's really weird that I haven't, because I would have rented this back in the days if I knew about it, but it kind of slipped me. And I saw most of the films from the 80s and 90s. Helge Jordal is absolutely the best in this film. Always liked him in films. Borren Beckmartna. And in this film, he is the type of dude you just want to punch straight in the face, because he's so fucking annoying, but I love it. Ola Solum directed this film, and he's kind of, I would say, is one of the big shots from Norway, back in the days at least. He did one of the biggest 80s films, Orion's Belte, but he also did one of the biggest 70s films, like Journey to the Christmas Stars. But for me, I always knew about him because I think he was something like first AD or something like that on, maybe not first AD, assistant director, I think it was, on Empire Strikes Back. And I always remember that from I was a child. There is one film that he did that I always wanted to see, because I think I saw it as a child, but I don't know this for sure. But it's called, I looked it up now actually because I forgot about it, but it's called Trees Grow on Stones Too. And I have a feeling I saw it as a child, but yeah, I really want to check it out. I really, really do. And they did Trollsinn, a movie I hope they will release through a Norwegian Klassiker. I think I had it on VHS back in the days, or we saw it at school. I can't remember. So next one up is Petter Vennerød's movie, or Hvem og Vennerød. It's Says Who, I think it's called in English. Hvem har bestemt? So I worked with Petter Vennerød. He passed away some years ago, sadly. He's one of the biggest names we have in Norway for cult films, I would say. Hvem og Vennerød, they are kind of, you always talk about both of them. Petter was mostly the producer, and Hvem was the director. It's actually Petter you see on the cover. He's the lead in this film. But they are mostly known, or the biggest films they made, I would think, public-wise, is probably Lasse and Geir and Hotel St. Pauli. This movie, I really like the first 20 minutes of the film. I think it went into kind of this, I don't know, it felt, I hate to use the word shallow, but it felt a little bit shallow for about 45 minutes, and then it got up again. It has a decent Hannibal scene in it. If you have seen the film, you know what I mean. But I can't talk that much about it because I thought it was going to have a bigger impact on me since it is what it is. But it didn't. But I will keep it. It wasn't bad. It was just that I expected more. But sad to say, holy shit, this movie was bad. It was, I don't like to say this, since it's outside the system, I believe at least. And I really support the director who did this because of how he makes film, Jan Vardøen. But I can't support this film. First off, I know I know who the cinematographer is on this one as well, and I just think they missed the mark on everything. I was actually through the entire film, I was saying, please make the image wider. Because the whole movie is actually about a dude just walking around in Oslo, and you are trying to get to know the city in the film. But the problem here is that I was just bugged by how it always felt like the image was a little bit too shot on a little bit too less wide lens. That's the best way to say it, and it really bugged me. But I think the acting is terrible. And in this kind of films, you need to have the acting on top priority, because that's what the entire movie is about, right? People meeting each other, talking. But I just felt like everything felt so theatrical. Everything felt so... I can't support this film at all. I can't. Sad to say. So I go over to the Steelbooks now. And first up is a movie I love, Lethal Weapon. This is an amazing action drama. Mel Gibson at his best. I would put him as Max and as, is it Riddick? Riddick? I can't remember what his name is in Lethal Weapon. Well, he is amazing in this one. And also the second. I love the first and the second just as much. I love those two films. Up there on my top action films ever. I will actually keep back and not watch before Christmas, because for me, Lethal Weapon is just like Die Hard for me. It is Christmas films. I think it is in the second it goes into Christmas time. I can't remember that. I never remember that shit. But there are so many memorable scenes, and most of them is about Mel Gibson. But I really love Lethal Weapon. So Nosferatu. When I saw this film at cinema, I was happy because I liked a lot with it, but I was also annoyed for many things. And let me try to explain this. I think first off, Eggers goes into forbidden territories with this. I'm against remakes, I'm against sequels, I'm against all that kind of shit now, and I've been that for the last 30 years, I feel like. But the problem with Nosferatu to remake that film is that the old classic is so perfect for what it is that it's almost impossible to remake it. And the main reason for that is just because it's that old, they managed to, when you watch the film, it feels like it's real. And I'm not saying the acting and all of that shit, but I'm just saying with the lighting, with the locations and everything, it's almost like they have filmed it at a surrealistic kind of third dimension kind of place. And when I watched this, it felt like a really big budget Nosferatu movie that took place in a dark Harry Potter universe. Everything felt so theatrical, beautiful in a way. At the same time, he's trying to go really deep, dark, and somber. So I was just sitting there all the time waiting for me to get scared or waiting for me to have some sort of angst for what was going to happen. It never really took me in any place. I was happy for the film and everything, but it was just like, I don't think he could have made this movie good, like really good in my opinion, because of what he was making. I think he went into an impossible route with this one. And I also have some other complaints. I don't know if I'm the only one on planet Earth who actually think this, but I do think that Lily Depp, I think that's her name, she was horrendous miscast in this film. First off, she doesn't have the sex appeal. And I will just compare this with, let's say, Isabella Gianti, that is in Werner Herzog's remake of Nosferatu. And just a short thing with that, Werner Herzog did the opposite way with his remake. And that's the reason why I love it. I don't even think of Nosferatu like the original when I see his film. It's a completely different movie. He doesn't try to go dark, somber, and almost like he's not trying to go scary either. It is kind of creepy, but that's more because of Klaus Kinski. But over to Isabella Gianti, she has it in her that she just shine in every movie she's in. I think that Lily Depp, she is kind of just one out of a million. And I also think when she was doing the possessed kind of scenes, there wasn't a layer to her. She was either completely Reagan demonized, or she wasn't demonized at all. So there wasn't like these layers I was waiting for, or I was hoping for at least. Bill Skarsgård also, I felt like, I know I'm shitting totally on the film, but I'm just honest. This is stuff, I like the film, but this is just stuff that I think bugged the movie for me. And Bill Skarsgård, I think, is overused. I think he's a good actor, but I just don't think he works in many of the roles he's cast in. And in this film, I don't even think I would have noticed if there was someone else. So it kind of more bugged me that I knew who he was, because I was always looking after Bill Skarsgård in the role. It was better to just cast someone completely different, in my opinion. And William Dafoe, I love him as an actor, but I do think he has been cast way too many times in the same role as he is in this one. And it's kind of weird. Maybe in the aftermath, if I live longer than him, maybe I will look at it like he is nowadays Christoph Reeves or something like that, or even Boris Karloff. I don't know. But right now, I feel like I see him in everything in the same role. Actually, I think that Ralph Ineson should have played Nosferatu, because he has that scary voice for real and everything. I don't know. It was and with the production design and everything, I do think everything looked perfection. But it was just like I was watching Harry Potter. It felt like a theatrical play of something that should be scary, but it is not. It worked. Like, one of my favorite vampire movies of all time is Bram Stoker's Dracula. The reason it works in Bram Stoker's Dracula is because already from the opening credit of the movie, we are presented for this universe to be some sort of German expressionism mixed with, I would almost say, like Italian goth style horror. And it's done the best it ever done. I even think Bram Stoker's Dracula is better looking than this film, to be honest. And this film looked amazing. But I just don't think that those two universes... Because Nosferatu has always been, to me, much more scarier than the classical Dracula. So, yeah, I think... I know I went deep on this one now, but it's just my take. It bugged me a bit, because I really, really wanted to love the film. The Penguin miniseries, so I haven't seen this one. I'm looking forward to see it, even though I'm really tired of all the superhero crap right now. But I've heard from everyone that I know says that this is a really good series. I didn't buy it on 4K because it's a TV series. Who cares? But yeah, I will check it out pretty soon. I also still have that fucking, what's it called? Tim Burton's Addams Family thingy. I can't remember. So, The Outlaw of Josie Wales. This is a movie I know I saw back in the days, but I can't remember anything from it. The reason I picked it up, because they had Pale Rider and one other film with him they released on Steelbook at the same price. But I took this film because I remember when I was young that I think I liked this film a lot. But I need to check it out. And everything with Clint Eastwood is good enough to buy, in my opinion. Or maybe not his second last film. I can't remember what it's called. Or the two films. The last film I haven't seen yet, but the two films he did before was pretty bad. And it was pretty cheap also. They are releasing these steelbooks in Scandinavia now. That's cool. So I go over now to some slipcover limited releases. First is MVD Rewind Collection. So this is the Bikini Car Wash Company Volume 1 or 1 and 2. Or is it Volume 1 and 2? I don't know. The first film is fun as hell. A lot of boobies. Just maybe I would call lazy, but still sleazy enough directing, so it's really fun. I freaking super enjoyed it. I think it's also a little bit because we don't get movies like this anymore. When I think about it now, I think actually this is one of the best early 90s kind of booby comedies I've seen after I become a grown-up, because most of the films I went back and seen I haven't liked that much, but I still haven't seen the Meatballs series. I saw Porky's. I thought it was okay, but that's 80s though. But still, there are 80s that are better than this, of course. But I'm early 90s. I can't come up with any. I think Meatballs 3 and 4 is early 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And I liked them as a kid. But I went back and watched Ski School 1 and 2. I thought that was pretty bad. But I actually liked the first. The second one was not that good. A lot of weird sex scenes in the second one that felt out of place. Okay, so this is The Long Kiss Goodnight. Also a 90s movie. A 90s movie I knew I really liked before I bought it. This film is great. Do. I will tell you why it's great. No, I will not. Everybody knows The Long Kiss Goodnight is great. So I don't need to talk about it. But I haven't checked out the 4K yet. I'm looking forward to do that. But it's also a Christmas movie, and not just because it's a Christmas movie, but I've seen this movie so many times in Christmas time. It gives me kind of the old, I don't know, something I miss from when I was younger. Anora. So I bought this and it cost me a penny, but I got it cheaper than the price I would have paid for it, because I think I had some credits left. But I liked Anora. I thought it was a good film. Felt like good drama comedy from the 90s, actually. I think it's a little bit overhyped, to be honest, and the reason I say that is because everybody was saying it's the best movie ever or everybody online, and I was just like, when I saw it, I said, this is a good film, but is it up there with like fucking the best comedies or best dramas? Hell no. But it's a movie I can absolutely watch again. The problem I have with this movie is also the same problem I have in most new films. I just don't think they cast the females right anymore. I didn't want to see her nude all the time, and she is nude, or at least sexual, with little clothes on a lot of the film. And I don't know, it's something about casting nowadays I don't understand. It's almost like they are not casting movies for guys anymore. They are just casting them for females and lesbians. I have no idea. And I also think that this is coming from my mouth, and I'm a big fan of sexploitation, and erotic thrillers from the 90s are my favorite flavor. But I actually think it was too much sex in this, and the reason why is simple, is because first time they did, I will not spoil what they do here, but the first time they did the trick with the editing, that's the only thing I will say, I was laughing. Second time, I was humming. It was still kind of funny. But the third and the fourth time, it was just, now I've seen it. Why do I need to see it again? And it was probably a little bit because of the casting as well. But I really need to check out the other films from Sean Baker, because I haven't seen any of his films. So I need to check his films out, because I do think he has some qualities. Next one up is a Kino Lorber released, and it's The Beast of War. You know what? I had seen the poster for this film for years, and I always thought this was a movie that came out in the 60s, 70s, and that's the reason why I didn't see it back in the days. But holy shit, I love this film. This was a really hidden gem for me. It's an 80s pure war movie. And for me, this puts, Fury to sleep. And the reason why is because I love war movies. You can make the best action movie ever. But if it's going to compete with a war movie, it will never hold up to me if it's the best of both sides. War movies is kind of, one of my three absolute favorite subgenres or genres. Fury feels like an action film more than a war film. This feels like a war movie. Even though that there isn't much war in this film, it's more... that's also the strange thing, is that the movie is about... Like, it's an American film about Russians in Afghanistan being kind of hunted or tracked down by back then, or at least 2 years later, people would call them terrorists. But we're actually following two groups that America was looking at as like bad guys during this time period. So I find it really, really weird, but I loved it. I think George Sunsa, I think his name is, and I remember him only from movies when he's fat. But this was right before he got fat, because I remember in Dangerous Mind he was really juicy. But damn, he is good in this film. And you also get Jason Patric and Stephen Baldwin, and really, I didn't know they could act good, but they're really good in this film. It's a really fantastic film that everybody should check out. I find it so fucking weird that I hadn't seen it before. Next one up is a German film, or East German film actually, from Eureka Entertainment, Heart of Stone. When I heard, or when I read, I didn't hear that, I read it, that it was a European fantasy film from the 50s, I knew I had to have it. It's actually directed by Paul Verhoeven, but not the Verhoeven. I was also shocked by that, but it's not the Verhoeven I thought it was going to be, or I couldn't understand it was him, because he was born 4 years before this, I believe, or something. But no, this is a completely different Verhoeven. They have nothing to do with each other, and both of them are from Middle Europe, and both of them are directors, made tons of films that are classics. I only seen this one from this Verhoeven. What makes it special and I read this actually after I saw the film, is that it's produced up by DEFAS, and it's the first color production they ever did. And therefore it's the Dutch Film Institute, or not Institute, probably Dutch Film Production Company, I would say. But it never said any place what it called in English. And they were kind of the leading film production company in Europe back in the days. I think they had, like, if I remember right, 700-800 films. And that's insane. What I loved about this film, it has a super, super Soviet vibe when it comes to the fantasy part of the film. Really took me into Potushku's kind of universe and everything. And it came out actually before Ilya Muromets, so I think that's also badass. Yeah, and it got me a little bit Sword in the Stone vibes, maybe mixed with some sinister folk horror, or maybe even the Brother Grimm's fairy tales. I don't even know if it's based on something that I should know about. It's really beautiful and really stylistic. And it's insane to think it's 75 years old. Especially when you think how crap movies it's nowadays. Sorry, I had to say it. Next one up is 101 Films, Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. So the reason I bought this one was because I remember it from I was a child. I remember the cover and the characters. But I didn't remember the story of the film. I think I had this on VHS back in the days. And I also actually think Denmark was part of founding this film, if I'm not mistaken. but it's much more maybe American, Australian, UK, if I'm not mistaken, production. It's not the best animation out there, but I have to admit that it has some beautiful imagery, and it has a style to it that I really loved. And it brings me back to a time period that I really, I grew up with this kind of films. And it's also really fun. Everything Robin Williams is in is cool. And Tim Curry is actually the best voice in this film. But what I really found fascinated was that I read about that Robin Williams was actually in really bad in with Disney during this, because he was voicing Aladdin. And he wanted to do this film so bad. So I think you should read about that. It was actually really interesting. But you have so many famous actors in this one. You have Samantha Mathis, and this was time period, I think, when she did Super Mario, if I'm not mistaken. Christian Slater is in this one. And the boy from Mac and Me is also in this one. Mac and Me from Vinegar Syndrome is releasing now. Chicken Chong is in this one. And of course, Tone Loc. Everybody remembers Tone Loc. Next one up is from 101 Films, Black Labor Edition with Tourist Trap. So this one I think I got the other day in. I didn't have this. I was so surprised. I don't buy every one of these releases. I just buy the ones I want that I don't have. And I actually sold a few of them as well, because I don't need movies I don't watch. Tourist Trap has always been a good one, I think. Haven't seen it for years, but this was one of the first films I actually saw of those kind of, not illegal films, but more, what do you call it, forbidden zone of films when I was a kid. I remember it scared the living shit out of me, at least. But I'm super happy to own this. I think it's a slasher, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a really early slasher. I think it's 78 or 79. But yeah, same director who did this one, who did Puppet Master. And a movie I actually forgot about called Catacombs that I had back in the days. Really need to check it out if it's on YouTube or someplace. He also did a Kinski film, Crawl Space. A movie I had in my spank bank when I was a kid called The Seduction, that I need to check out again. I haven't seen it since the VHS days. And the next one is a movie I also saw tons of times when it was released, because I think this was one of my first DVDs I ever bought. And it was the second film I saw from Stuart Gordon. Probably my second favorite director when I was a kid. Fucking loved, or at least teen. Yeah, I've probably seen this movie 20 times back in the days. This felt like something only I knew about. I remember. I would say nowadays the movie is more or less, if I show it to friends, it's not something I would recommend to anybody, but if I show it to friends, I would say they would think it's okay, or even bad, some of them, I don't know. But I have so much nostalgia for it. And Barbara Crampton is super nice in every movie. Jeffrey Combs, always love him. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's so many things. The makeup design in the movie is also, and also the gut setting is really beautiful. Next one up is actually a movie I bought through, what's it called? Radiance Films, yeah. And so this is 20 years later, Man Market for Death, 20 years later. So this is a documentary I wanted to see because I read a little bit about it, and I heard about it before as well. I think a friend of mine saw them at TIFF or something like that at a point. It's a really good documentary about a man going back to the village he was making a movie in like 20 years before this movie was made. Like this is from 84, and I think he filmed it in 63, 64. And this was at the same, like when they filmed the film, it was when America had this kind of coup in Brazil, where they took down the government and put in a far-right government in Brazil. So the movie goes into the politics, the movie shoot, like the situation they had during the filming, and how the people have coped with the aftermath and during the situation. It's interesting, and it's really, the ending is kind of sad also, and it's I really felt for this. It took me about 40 minutes to really get into it. So I think it will work better for me next time around when I see it, like the first half of the film. But I highly recommend it. So next one up is Raro Video, also through Radiance, Gang War in Milan. So this is a 73 Lenzi crime film. It feels more or less like a Lenzi movie, I would say. He always have kind of solid films when it comes to entertainment. Not every one of his films are solid, but most of them. I think the best films in this kind of genre from him is Almost Human and Syndicate Sadist that I can think of on the top of my head. But I do think most of his crime films I've seen is good. It's just that I don't think this delivered anything more to me, except one thing. And that is the kind of story or the characters involved. It's so... How can I say this? It felt like a sleazy Danish sex comedy. How they talk to each other and slap and like everything felt so off when it came to... but I always said that Lenzi has always been a little bit over the top in a good way. But yeah, it's hard to... But it doesn't have any sleaze in it or anything like that. It's just felt like it. So next one up is Shatame. So this was also a Radiance title I picked up from you can say it's part of the French New Wave. I always wanted to check out this one, mostly because I read that it was sci-fi. Alain makes a movie about time travel, I would say here, where a dude is where a dude is revisiting kind of old relationship that is really bad. Or bad moments from the relationship is a better way to say it. It's a strange film because you don't have like a linear kind of story to follow. It almost like shit just happens. And it was kind of hard to keep rolling with the film. But I just felt like it had this kind of sensual, beautiful vibe to it. So I was kind of sold to it. Actually, the stuff I liked the least was all of the shit in the kind of capsule or what you call it where he is. That stuff didn't work for me at all. I actually liked more the story with him and a woman. But I do think that it isn't a sci-fi really. I think it's more kind of just a layer in the film, almost. I was thinking of it almost like a meta layer. I know it sounds weird if you have seen the film, but for me, it felt more like that. So next one up is Murder Obsession. For the thing that made me interesting when I went into the page of Radiance was that it said that it was a French-Italian co-production. And I had really good experience with that in the past. How to explain this film? Well, it opens in a clever kind of Wes Craven Scream type of thing where you have this meta thing they are filming, or we are following some people and cut or whatever. I can't remember what they said. And cool opening. And remember, this was long before Scream. But then it goes into this kind of psychological thrill type of thing before it ends in a dreamy sexploitation vibe of a movie with spider giallo horror. I don't know. But you get Martine Brocard in this one. She is one of Tinto Brass' most, how do you say that? Favorite females. She was in Paprika. And you also get actually Black Emanuelle doing some sex on the beach in this one. If you have seen Black Emanuelle, you've probably seen her done that 100 times before. But I only seen 4 films from Ricardo Frada, and I actually liked this the most. It made me actually laugh when I checked it out just to see how the rating was on this one. And this one was actually the second lowest of his films. So, but I like this the most because it was a fun watch. It was just pure fun. I will actually show this one night at the B-movie night I'm part of. So this is a movie I saw first of the films I got from Radiance, Arrebato. So this is a really tormented movie to watch. I couldn't get it out of my brain after I was finished with it. It actually stuck with me for 2 days at least. It was kind of almost like watching Requiem for a Dream the way I felt after watching that film. But this is something completely different. It's the way it's made. It's a cheap production, but it's really kind of psychedelic the way it's made, and it's hard. I can't even explain it. You have to watch this film. I heard about it for years, and I never was really interested in it before I actually read about it on one of the best lists out there of movies. This is a Spanish production, and I think it was on top 5 of Spanish films. So yeah, and after that I just wanted to see it. I don't know if I ever can see this one again. I will probably one day, so I will keep it, but it's really fucking freaky. It goes into the LGBTQ stuff, and it's really a celebrated film for them. You can watch it without that, even if you don't care about, or if you don't like to watch movies with that stuff in it. It doesn't really focus on that at all. It's more about drag, if that makes sense, but it doesn't focus on it. And don't see it as a horror, but even if you don't, I promise you, you will feel it's a horror while watching it. It's really tormenting, to say at least. Next one up. So this was a really special view for me. I'd never heard about this film before, Goodbye and Amen. It was the biggest surprise for me of the Radiance films, of the one I've seen so far. I knew nothing about it before I watched it, and I fucking love this film. Must be on my top 3 of best Italian crime films ever. It's so incredible, sexy shot, beautiful production design, and kind of, how can I say this? It felt like the director really had confidence, that he really just did what he wanted to do, and he was 100% sure how it would turn up in the ending. And I loved this. It has such a cool design, the movie. This is a movie I will go back to many, many, many times, and I highly recommend it to people to check it out. Next one up is Palindromas. So I knew I had to grab this after I watched Happiness. Happiness is a movie I tried to watch for over 20 years, since the first time I ever heard about it. Probably longer. I think it came out in late 90s. But I couldn't find it. But then Criterion released it in October last year, I think it was. And I saw it right away. I loved Happiness. And then I looked up the director, and I saw he made this one. And there's another movie also I really want to check out from the director. But when I saw Radiance was releasing this, I knew I had to pick it up. But I still haven't seen it. This is one of the movies I haven't seen that I'm really, really looking forward to see. Next one up is Curzon film. And this is Dancer in the Dark. So I already have Dancer in the Dark on a box release with multiple films from Trier. But he released 3 of his films now on through Curzon, and I love Curzon films, so I wanted to buy one of them. Idiots I have on 2 releases, and the other one I can't remember. I wonder if it was Dogwell, and I also have that one. But I wanted a special release of Dancer in the Dark because I really like this film. It's a strange film, because normally I have a hard time feeling sympathy for actors or characters in a Trier film. But in this one, I feel it right away for Björk, the lead lady. And maybe it's just me, I don't know. But I think he makes a lot of films with characters that you can't really stand behind, if that makes sense. And it's also a musical, and I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, as probably people who have seen my shit before knows. But this is a musical I really like. It feels a little bit cheap at times, but that's what I love about it. And it's not like the movie itself, but the way it's kind of directed. But it's done that on purpose, without a doubt. So, yeah, I like this movie a lot. So I can just say La La Land can go and fuck itself and watch Dancer in the Dark. Next is also a Curzon film. This one I actually got in today, and it's Flow. So Flow is a movie I saw. This is the best movie that came out in 2024 for me. I love this film. It was a big surprise for me. And the reason I didn't pick up the 4K is because I don't really need this film is in the best possible quality. Because when I was watching the film, I was thinking, how amazing would it be to see this film for the first time on VHS or something like that. It's something about the style of the film that just, I don't know, maybe it will elevate the movie. I have no idea, but that was a thought I had while watching it. But it's a really cute, sad, beautiful, and happy movie about a cat. And yeah, it's so much more, but I don't want to spoil it because many people have probably not seen it yet. So, and over to 88 films and to something completely different. Assault, Jack the Ripper. So this is, I would just say I'm super happy that 88 films are doing this now, releasing so many badass Asian films. And I've heard about this film before, so I knew I had to get it right away. First time watch for me. It's kind of, how can I say this? Feels like a psychological erotic synthwave of a trash slasher or trash serial killer film. It has some really weird scenes in it. It's normal in this kind of pinky violence type of movies or Roman porno, depends on how you look at it or how you want to express it is a better way to say it. But this movie was actually produced by the Roman porno guys Nikatsu, but it holds really into the pinky violence kind of flavor of, but it doesn't go too extreme, I will say that. But I do recommend this film, absolutely. It was a really, really cool movie. It is a serial killer film, but I don't spoil anything by saying that. Girl Hell. So this was another movie that was a little bit crazy, but not as crazy as the most crazy of these kind of films are. Also produced by Nikatsu, the studio. And it was based, if I remember right, on a short story. It's kind of a dark gothic, of course erotic, horror film, but more art house, I would say, than the rest of these films. It's directed by one of the most famous of the Roman porno films, and I would say this is 100% pinker. You can't get more pinker than this, but it's not on the most extreme side. I would also say that. And it also has some lesbian scenes, if you're into that. Classical rape, no, not rape, but revenge story. And next one up is Hong Kong. So I haven't had time to check this one out yet, but it looks really interesting. It's like an immigrant story from China. I think it's kind of like underdog boxing movie, if I understood it right. So I will be checking out this. Looking forward to that one. Next one up is a movie I wanted to see forever, and it's Pinocchio 964. A memory-lost sex slave who is thrown on the street by his sex master, if I can say that, slave master maybe. Well, I have to say that the slave is a cyborg. So this is a crazy-ass Tetsuo maybe? Tetsuo meets... yeah, it's a hard mix to actually explain. But it's an insane film, and it's so damn cool. It's a movie I really, really digged. It's really, really cool. I think it's actually up there with Tetsuo. I think these two must be the most crazy films in the kind of cyberpunk style. Next one up is Zebra Man. So this was a movie I had seen before. And yeah, Takeshi Miike, I don't think he has made a bad movie as far as I know. I only seen actually 8 of his films. Or nine when I think about that. I've seen the second one as well, so Zebra Man 2. And this is not something I've seen him done anything close to before, but he's also magical when it comes to making all these kind of crazy films. He made Itchy the Killer, I think some years before he did Zebra Man, so he has been into the kind of superhero genre before, but not like this. This is more of like... how can I say it? It's well, Itchy the Killer is also kind of transparent when it comes to a superhero movie, but also kind of a satire on society that it brings up. But this is a very cool film. You have to check it out. It's something different. It's one of a kind. Here's a 88 film I haven't checked out yet, Yakuza Wives. So I'm looking forward to check this one out. All of these films have been good, of the releases through 88 films of the Japanese kind of pinky films. The Zebra Man is not a pinky film though. Not actually the Pinocchio movie as well. But I'm looking forward for the Yakuza Wives. Next one up is the only Italian collection film I picked up. This is a movie I fucking love. It's I already have it through Vinegar Syndrome's what's it called, Forgotten Jolly. I think it's in volume 5. Yeah, I was planning to picking up every Italian collection films, but I will stop rebuying stuff I already have. So this will be the last I buy that I don't have, that I already have. But it is a really great film. I don't really look at this as a Jolly, so I don't know why it's part of the Forgotten Jolly set, because there is no black glove killer in it, there's no detective story, and it feels more like a slasher or a goth setting, you know, the classical where they visit a castle or whatever. But this is on an island, and it's much more focused on the interpersonal secrets than a murder setup. And it's also shot more straightforward than a typical Jolly, where they are more into the stylistic kind of look and all of that. I could call this a late 70s kind of crime thriller or whatever. So over to the partner labels from Vinegar Syndrome. So this is the only one I got without a slip. The reason for it is it's out of stock, or it's they don't have slip anymore for it. I had this film before, but I sold it before I saw it, and I saw it before I sent it, and I liked it so much, so I regretted it, so I had to pick it up. This is kind of like a 90s take on a 70s John Waters movie, I would say. The director behind this is called Sarah Jacobson, and she sadly passed away. I think she was only 30 years old. But yeah, I really liked Mary Jane's Not a Virgin Anymore. I didn't like that much the other film. I was a teenage serial killer. But yeah, Mary Jane was really, really good. It's just a raw, and I love that she shot it on Super 8. It's like in the mid-90s, and you film a movie on Super 8, then you're fucking crazy, I would say. But yeah, highly recommend this one. It's super raw. And I give a lot of women director shit on my channel, but when I like something, I tell you. She's good. I wish we could see more from her, but sadly she passed. So The Wait. This is a movie that I would say it's a folk horror neo-western set in the 70s under Franco era Spain. So early 70s at least. The story was kind of lame in this one. It's slow, and the focus is more on random stuff than sticking to kind of anything that you at least feel you can follow. The story it picks up here and there are some really cool scenes, incredible good acting in it, really well cast movie, and it looks beautiful. I wish actually it was shot on 16, that would have been insane cool. I will keep it because it's kind of one of those stylistic films that I really like because of the style. And it also had the classical Mexican, I call it, goth makeup on the horror stuff that I always loved. Not loved. Heavier Trip, so this is the sequel to Heavy Trip. I really like the first part of Heavy Trip, but the second part I didn't like that much. This movie felt like the second half, the entire film, so I didn't like this film at all, sadly. I really wanted to like it. It's a Finnish film, so movie from Finland. Every time I say Finnish film, I sound like I'm finished with the film. No, but I will keep it because I collect movies from Finland. This was another one that I bought and sold, and I saw it before I sent it. So this is Takeshi Kitano's double feature. Boiling point on this was just okay, a bit too off balance for me. The action stuff worked, but I didn't care at all for the sports shit in the film. Yeah, I thought it was a decent film, But Violent Cop, I fucking love that film. It's so damn good. Badass action, cool characters, insane cool plot. And it feels more like a crime film than an action film, actually. And it is probably that. But the action sequences are so cool, so I probably just call it an action. Yeah, I had to grab this. This is a movie I can see over and over and over again. And I highly recommend it to everybody out there. Next one up is Edward II. So this is way too gay for me. So I heard about this from a friend of mine some years back. He is gay. And he said that he really liked this one. So I wanted to check it out. And I saw Vinegar Syndrome suddenly had it. So I just ordered it. It's a hard to watch 90 movie for me. Because I actually like part of the vibe of the film, if that makes sense. But it's just too gay for me. Too much close contact with people being gay. Too much focus on that stuff. It doesn't work for me at all. It will probably work for gay people. It's a reason why biology is a biology. It's just more or less like poetic style 1500s Shakespeare spark throughout the film, and symbolism told through poetic design and dialogue and all kind of crap. I actually like movies like that, but again, if it's too much gayness in it. But I will say, Tilda Swinton, it's the first film I've seen her in where she is really hot. And she is in that film. Surprised me. Hippo. So this was a weird one. I knew nothing about this. This was a blind buy. I always buy 1 or 2 titles from them blind when I have money. Released through Memory Pictures, one of the partner labels. If you want to see Eric Robert bang his wife in a movie, well, check this one up. And actually talking about his real wife. So check this film if you want to see that, because there's a short on this one where you actually get to see that. And a little bit too much of it. So much that I was uncomfortable knowing that it was his wife. Yeah, this is a really weird art house movie from America. I kind of enjoyed it because it's so weird. It was kind of 50-50 for me, but the 50% that was so weird that I just, yeah, I can say this much. It's about, or it's not about, but there is a scene. No, wait, that was the short. Yeah, fuck, I'm mixing those two now. Well, I will not spoil it, but I can say there is a scene in the release that really disturbed me. Check it out. Next one up is Danger Stories from UGFA, also a partner label from Vinegar Syndrome. So this is more or less just a collection of safety movies all the way back from the 50s up to the 80s, if I'm remembering right. I will keep it because I have seen half of them, and they're kind of fun actually. Fucking crazy, kind of introduction films and safety films and stuff like that. There's a fire film in that's really fun. So I just love UGFA releasing all this kind of weird stuff, and as weirder they get, the more I like them from UGFA. Next one up is Sleeping Beauty, also a weird movie, IFC Films. So this is more like if you want to see Emily Browning nude and a lot of nude, this is the movie for you. And I'm pretty sure many people want that, but I don't want it. She looks like she's 16 years old. But she's of course not. I think, I looked it up, I think she was 20 or 21 when she did this film. This is a perfect example of a female-directed movie. So you have a base plotline here that is a simple plotline to actually make a kind of intriguing film for men. Because this movie must be for men. I can't even think why women want to see this film if you're not a lesbian though. Because this is a setup that has been used in the 70s, 80s, 90s, probably 60s as well. And you have the perpetrator, of course, are the men, and they are old, and the female is, whatever. A lot of nudity. But the problem is when you don't put somebody in the role that is sexual in a way, then it's just... It's not even disgusting, it's more annoying to watch this. So I was bored through the entire fucking film. And it's weird when you think about all the nudity in it. Yeah, but this happens all the time nowadays. When female make erotic thrillers, I don't even know who they make the films for. A Life in Dirty Movies. So this one I just bought because I saw it was produced from Sweden, and I collect Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish films. And another thing with it, I love sexploitation, and I have only seen Joe Sarno's, I think I've seen Inga at least, with beautiful Marie Lildahl. Deep Inside I've seen, and Swedish Wildcat with Christina Lindberg. I don't think I've seen more films from him, but I was interested in checking it out just because it's about sexploitation and Sweden and all of that, so it sounds interesting. Maybe I do a video one day where I talk about all the films I have seen, so it's not only what I'm going to see. The Devil at Your Heels. So this one I picked up because I think I've seen it before, and if it's the same film, I freaking loved it. It's about a stuntman who died during when he did a stunt, and I have reckoned for I have seen this film before, but I'm not sure at all. But that was the reason why I bought it, because I just memorized something I've seen back in the days on TV or VHS, I don't know. Moamer. So Isabel Huppert, I love her in all films. She is so amazing actress. I know nothing about this film, and I will know nothing about it till I see it. It was one of those blind buys that I just spoke about. Next one up is Vinegar Syndrome, and this is their cinematograph line. Let me take it out a little bit. Maybe there. So Breathless. I have this Fun City Edition Blu-ray of this film, but I've been selling off a lot of films, and I was thinking maybe to sell that one now. So I bought this one. Upgraded it is a better way to say it, since this is a 4K. So I saw this long time ago. This is a remake of the French classic from the 60s. I saw the original just 2-3 years ago when I bought it. I had never seen that before, and I really liked the original. I can't remember if I like this one, but I will check it out soon. You have Richard Gere in this film, and French Valerie Caprisky, and Class of '99 actually, John Ryant. This movie was supposed to be directed by Michael Mann, but he went into The Keep instead. Something I'm super happy about. But I'm looking forward to revisit Breathless. Could be good, could be terrible, who knows. Swimming to Cambodia. This one I saw also maybe 10 years ago or something. I think I still have the DVD upstairs. It's from Jonathan Demme, Silence of the Lamb, Philadelphia, something wild. I see people are talking about this as a documentary, and it's kind of a weird film because it's part documentary, part not. Or you can say it like this. Is either a documentary or a fiction, but it's sold as a fiction, and I would say it's a fiction. So yeah, I liked it, and I'm looking forward to check it out again. And now and if I don't want it on Blu-ray, I sell it. So The Golden Child, I had to pick up this. I actually didn't own this on DVD or Blu-ray or anything, and I like this film. This is a kind of movie I can watch one time a year. It's a fun one. It's not the best Eddie Murphy movie, but it's one of the best, I would say, because it's so rewatchable. It's been a while since I saw it last time because I don't own it. But when I was younger, I saw it a bunch of times. And I'm looking forward to check out the 4K scan because Vinegar Syndrome always deliver with that. And I actually think I only seen it on VHS because this was one of the last films I had with me in Oslo on VHS, actually, long after I had DVD. I used VHS all the way up till 2008, 9 or something like that. But I've seen this film so many times back in the day. It's directed by Michael Ritchie, the same dude who did Midnight Sting or Digstown, a movie I hope Vinegar Syndrome will release because I love it. And I don't own, or I own Digstown on DVD, but it's one of my favorite go-to movies that I can just watch over and over again. Drop Zone. So this is not Wesley Snipes' best movie. And I actually sold my Blu-ray when I bought this. So I upgraded Drop Zone from Blu-ray to 4K because I just bought the Blu-ray. But I got $25, almost $25. No, I got $25, that's right, for the Blu-ray. So I only paid like $4 or something for this. So that was perfect. Then I was happy. I was more like annoyed that I had to pay like fucking $30 for a movie I just bought. But yeah, I need to check it out. I hadn't seen the Blu-ray before I sold it actually. So looking forward to check out Drop Zone again. It's been a while. And you have Gary Busey in it, so he's always fun. Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance. 2 Cat Tree films, 1 decent and 1 really good. Fetus is the one that is just decent. When it works, it's marvelous. When it don't, it feels like almost like elevator time. And it's not because it stands still, but it's more or less because it happens so much shit on screen that you can't keep up with it. It goes really, really crazy at times. You have aliens, kung fu, possession, Looney Tunes shit, everything in the film. But I don't recommend that. It's not bad, but it's not one I would recommend. But the movie I will recommend is Her Vengeance. Man, that movie was good. I almost gave it 8 out of 10 when I rated it, but I give it a strong 7. It starts like a pulp exploitation type of film, but it shifts gear quick, and then it took me super out of what you call like out of guard, and it have like this gear shift 3-4 times in the film. I really dig this one. It's directed by Choi. He gave us also The Cat, one of my favorite Asian films of all time. It comes out from 88 Films later this year. Super happy about that. Sad that it doesn't get a 4K, because that movie should have gotten a 4K. But he also did Erotic Ghost Stories, Story of Rico, and what was the Seven Curves. He's a great director. He didn't make many films actually. Here is Her Vengeance. He didn't make many films actually. Thinking about it, how good he is. Criminal Insane 2. So just as bad as the first one, or actually this one is worst, to be honest. The whole movie is just filming fat, crazy Ethel sitting there staring at food, eating some of the fucking bowl she has in front of her. And yeah, she's thinking of shit that happened in the first one. And then we'll see clips from the first one. And it's a boring ass movie. So this one is going out of the collection. And I have opened it. It's just the plastic on top that is, but I will sell it. This is going out of the collection. Next one up is Charlie One Eye. So this movie I actually liked. It's not great, but I thought it was pretty decent. It's mostly because of the characters actually. It's a black dude and a Native American that comes together and do crazy shit. It's actually an American UK production, so that also surprised me. Early 70s. So I'm super happy Vinegar Syndrome are releasing this kind of films. Do more of these films, Vinegar Syndrome, so give me surprises. Fun moments, and yeah, especially Shaft, Richard Roundtree. He's amazing in it. But he's always good. Next one up is Iron Angels 1 to 3. So 1 is okay, 2 is fun, 3 is insane crazy. Especially the ending when it turns into some type of Hotshot meets John Woo type of shit. A very surprising release from Vinegar Syndrome. I had never heard about these films before. I thought I had seen them before, but I hadn't. Or I thought I had seen the first one. But yeah, this is glued into my collection. I will never sell it. Next one up is Murder Rock. So it's a nipple there. I hope YouTube don't ban me for the rest of my life. This is Fulci's back, or actually this is before Devil's Honey. This is the movie made right before. So this is a aerobic jazz dance type of thing, 80s, the stuff I love. King of Gore takes on his dance shoes and show us the flash dance. Yeah. No, flash dance can actually go and screw a light bulb. I think that this is a film where he was kind of thinking he wanted to make something like Devil's Honey, because he fails in a lot of sections in this film. But I just think it's fun. It's an easy film to watch, and I love the intro dance of the film. It's a movie I can recommend to people if you just want to have fun. Still haven't checked out the 4K on it. Next one up is Dirty Work, one of the ugliest slips I own. A dark slapstick film. I saw this just 4 or 5 months ago, actually on YouTube, because I didn't know that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing it. That Brian had it part of the Rotten stream, so I saw, but I didn't really see it. I just saw, I had it on, but I didn't follow like as close as I should. But it's not my type of film really, but I do think they have a dirty cut on this one that sounds interesting, and plus there's a lot of good actors or famous comedians in it that maybe elevates the film a little bit. Chevy Chase, Chris Farley, John Goodman, Adam Sandler. So I don't know. It could be fun. It's always fun to see movies like these getting these insane upgrades. The Dark Half. So this one I saw not long ago because I sold my Blu-ray, so I actually didn't pay much for this as well. I got this for $2 actually. I had a Eureka version, I believe it was, of it with a slip, so I got some. I think this must be Stephen King writing his sexual fantasy. That's my take on it. Well, I think the movie is okay. It's a thriller with horror elements in it, or a horror with thriller storyline maybe, I don't know, about identity and the mystery type of thing. Maybe it's George R. Romero's most mainstream type of film. I don't know actually. I think it's okay. Absolutely a movie I can see again. And it was years since the last time I saw it when I saw it this time around, to say it like that. Jade. So this is a movie that get a lot of shit out there. Neo-noir erotic 90s thriller, right up my alley. Subgenre from the 90s I like the most. I never had it on the top of like erotic thriller kind of thing during the VHS days, but I always liked Jade. At least part of my top 50. I think it's in the middle. In the middle is a better way to say it. And it's William Friedkin, sexual obsession kind of thing. What's there not to like? I don't know why it gets so much shit. I always loved the original cover art for it. Strange that they didn't use it on the slip. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. So this was a big surprise for me that they upgraded. I actually sold my Imprint version of this also, so I didn't pay much for this either. I think I got money back from selling the Imprint. I think I got $400 for the Imprint. So this is even more crazy. I think it's a movie that no one talks about, but it feels like a really important film, if that makes sense. I think the acting is good, but it's over the top. But I think the movie needs over the top acting. That's the thing. Highly recommend Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Next one up is Deaf Crocodile with I Married a Strange Person, Bill Plimpton. So I've seen 4 Bill Plimpton films now. I haven't seen this one yet, so I'm looking forward to check it out. But the next one is also a Bill Plimpton film that I checked out from Deaf Crocodile, and that's Mutant Aliens. And this is one of his lowest scores films, like feature films. But I really dig this one. This is the best one I've seen from him so far. I fucking love all the characters in it, all the situation, the satire and everything. It's amazing. And it's so fun. So this one is Plimpton going all in crazy. Love that one. Next one is also Deaf Crocodile. It's Inflatable Sex Dolls of the Wasteland. This is a batshit crazy Japanese film. Not as sleazy as the titles say, but that's also Deaf Crocodile don't release much of this sleazy stuff. I love a scene where they go slow motion without going slow motion. They actually act the slow motion out, and they have a really weird filming of that. But I love that scene. It's a really fun film. Or not fun, but it's a film up my alley, to say it like that. The next one here is also Deaf Crocodile. This one really didn't grab me that well. Signal, A Space Adventure, and In the Dust of the Stars, both from the 70s, directed by the same director, 2 East German sci-fi film, also produced actually by DEFA that I talked about earlier. These 2 films really did not hit my mark, as I said. They are far from bad, but I just couldn't get into the story of any of them. If I remember right, they went into kind of colonialism and some sort of class struggle. That's what I got out of. At least I think it was The Dust of the Stars.
But there were some really cute moments with special effects and costumes. But I need to check them out again one day. I can't really talk about them. And next one up is Freckless Max and the Spooks. So man, I love the title of this one. Czechoslovakian feature. A different take on the Frankenstein story. Yeah, so you have great musician or composer in this one, Italian, who had done a bunch of stuff. You got beautiful Barbara Di Rossi in her 20s. First time I saw her actually in the 20s in a film, at least as far as I remember. Yeah, I thought this film was really cool because it's really playful. I didn't like the picture-on-picture effect in the film, but all the practical stuff was really cool. And it reminded me a little bit of Håkon Håkonsson or something like that back in the days. So I highly recommend this one. Next one up is The Tragedy of Man. So this is a movie that shocked me. I first thought that I'd seen it before when I started watching it. I started mixing it with a really famous TV series that I saw in Norway back in the days. I have that on DVD on a box set. It's called Det var en gång ett menneske, Once Upon a Time Man, I think the English title is. But this is a Hungarian movie based on a Hungarian play. It's amazing. 3 hours long, but it takes the whole story from Adam and Eve up till the future. I highly recommend you to check out this one. This was one of my best watches this year so far. Next one up is Gwen and the Book of Sand. So French animation from 85. That reminds me a bit of the Canadian short animation from the 70s called The Sandcastle. Yeah, the style of this one. It's beautiful looking. It felt a little bit slow, I gotta admit that, but I still was so fascinated by the creature design the design of everything. It just looks amazing. And it's mix of Mad Max, Dune, and Stargates, and maybe religion, or it is actually religion span in this film. Next one is also a deaf crocodile, and it's The Pass and the Return. This is Treasure of the Soviet Animation Volume 1. It's actually 3 films in this one, 1 short and 2 longer. Golden Age of Soviet animation. For me, I think the Golden Age has always been there in Soviet. They has made good films since the start of days animation. But I like best what's it called? The Mystery of the Third Planet. That's the most childish one, but I like that the most. The other one is also amazing, especially wonder if it was The Past with the super funky and cool music. So highly recommend this box set. Pick it up from Deaf Crocodile. It's amazing. Next one up is actually on Umbrella Entertainment release, and it's Black Death. So this is a Sean Bean film, and I think I actually confused this with another title I've seen. But this is a medieval horror film. Bean leads a group of I don't remember how many they were, but to a remote village rumored to be untouched by the plague, only to uncover dark secrets and why it's not untouched. Really interesting premise actually, and there are some really beautiful scenes here, and production design, everything looks gorgeous for what it is. I just think the story loses itself really fast. And the lead actor, I can't remember his name, same dude who is the lead in the Danish something. Yeah, I don't like him, at least in this film. He is too much of a pussy. Next one up is The Science of Sleep. So this one I haven't seen before, but I picked it up right away. I just think the pictures on it looked amazing, so it was really interesting. Same director who did Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, movie I like a lot. He's more or less a music video director. You should check out some of his music videos, it's really good. Charlotte Gainsborough is, I think she's the lead actress in this one, and I always liked her. From 2006, so still during a time where some great movies were made. Next one up is Suburban Mayhem. I think if this movie came out 6 years before it was released, it would have done a lot better. This is absolutely not a bad film, and
I'm not the biggest fan of those punk kind of coming of age stories, if you like. But I do like the grittiness of these kind of films. And this movie dares to go into some dark and gritty valleys. What I can say that I didn't... no, I will rather say what I like. There are some really cool anti-woke, what I would say nowadays, jokes in it. And one of the jokes made me laugh out loud. It has some fun moments. I really like this one. Next one up is a movie I adore. Still haven't checked out the 4K, but it's Hardware. Fucking amazing movie. Richard Stanley. He did 2 movies I love. I also like, actually, Island of Dr. Moreau. I know it's hated, but I just think the practical effects in that film is so amazing, and all of the actors are great and all of that. But Hardware and Dust Devil are 2 films I put high up there. So I will buy Dust Devil as well if it gets a 4K release, but I'm super happy to own Hardware on 4K. I mean, if it wasn't for me having the cool 8-disc release of Hardware, I would actually picked up the big box set from Umbrella. So The Fall, I'd never heard about this film before. And the strange thing is that it came out, like, I can't remember the exact year, but it was during a time period I absolutely should have heard about it. But it's like the same director who did The Cell, and I love The Cell, so it's really weird that I haven't heard it. But holy crap, pussy, this movie is great. I wouldn't say the story itself is so great, but it looks so amazing, so many cool scenes, and the story is good as well. Also, yeah, I don't want to spoil it, so I will keep my mouth shut about it. But check this out. Has one of the coolest sequences ever filmed, ever, in this film. And I think you will understand, if you see the film, what scene I'm talking about. And the Australian classic, Wake in Fright. I just rewatched this. Hadn't seen it for years. Yeah, I love this. This is a mental breakdown film, both for the viewers, but also for the character in the story. I fucking love this film. It's so sweaty, so greasy. Donald Pleasant with sweat all over his face and body. It's almost like I'm there with him sweating. It's so nasty, but so beautiful. It's a masculine movie. It's a movie about... I would actually say it's a movie about getting your mind fixed, in a way. At least fucked. But yeah, if you haven't seen Wake in Fright, it's crazy good. And it actually reminds me a little bit where the place I'm from. Not for the greasy, sweaty shit, but more for the people. Because there's a lot of crazy locals where I'm from. And yeah, alcohol. Remind me of my upbringing. I highly recommend people to check out Wake in Fright. It's such a great film. And the last 2 I got this time around is 2 box sets from Umbrella that I haven't opened yet. It's Thai Horror Collection and Oozploitation Rarities Volume 3. I will watch all of the Oozploitation Rarities in a weekend or something. Probably soon, because I really want to see 3 of them. 3 of the films I'm really waiting to see. I have now 3 box sets. So it's 9 movies in total. To see if I will keep them or not. But I love Australian cinema, and I absolutely love the exploitation films from the country. So I have a big good feeling that I will keep the box sets. But we'll see. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back in about a month, a little bit more than a month, for the next Rotten stream. I'm not doing much on my channel, so if you are watching this, listening to my sexy voice, thank you. I actually stepped a little bit away from YouTube, found it. I still follow some people, like their live streams, but I don't know. People talk about the same crap all the time, so I got bored. It's like top 10 Friday the 13th titles, top 6 A Nightmare on Elm Street title, ranking of Scream, what's the best 80s retro vibe movie was blah blah blah, you know. So I got tired of all of that. It was really fun in the beginning, but yeah, the retro really got on me. I'm not a retro guy. I like to see stuff that evolves. And of course I like going back to see classics and all of that. But I love a lot of you guys that I got to be friends with over YouTube on my channel, and hope you keep following. And I try to check into most channels that I follow and to see if they have some new videos and stuff. But thank you so much for sticking around, and hope you see you next time. Bye.